My name is Tyrone Williams, and my wife Edna and I own Fourtee Acres Farm. Our farm was started by my grandfather with the purchase of 38 acres of land in 1916 for $864. That was a great feat for anybody during that time, but particularly for an African American. Walking through the property, the first sense that I get is a sense of honor to stand on the land that I know that my grandfather and my forefathers stood on. Edna and I are now realizing that our best days are possibly behind us, and we need to make sure that we get ready to prepare for the next generation. You know, trees and woodland for my granddad in his time, that was just something that was in the way.
Right.
Because they needed the land to grow crops.
That's why they said money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
I'm Katie Fernals. I'm president and CEO of Dovetail Partners. Dovetail Partners is a Minneapolis-based environmental nonprofit organization. One of the things in the United States that not everybody's aware of is the majority of our forest land is privately owned. And our private forest lands in the United States provide the vast majority of our timber harvest. So markets that include opportunities for lower grade materials for those private forest landowners are essential for keeping forests as forests. And strong markets help create a really robust system for forest management.
When you ride and you look throughout the countryside, and I always would see these beautiful stands of trees, and I noticed that we didn't have them on our property. And so my whole motivation behind this is that I wouldn't have a lot to leave to my three sons, but I knew that if I was able to leave them a managed stand of timber, then they would possibly be able to have a better quality of life. So I decided to get involved with a program that would educate me more about forestry and woodland ownership.
A lot of folks can't see the forest for the trees. They never really thought about that trees meant anything or was of any value until someone knocked on their door and said, "I'd like to buy your trees."
You know, these trees are almost like your babies, and so you always want the best for them. So when it comes time for that tree to harvest, you want to make sure that every talent that is within that tree is utilized.
Forest management is usually driven by higher value products, like producing lumber. But when you remove trees to produce lumber, it'll be some of the small trees that aren't suitable for lumber, the tops, the branches. That's the material that predominantly goes into producing biomass energy.
So our project provides opportunity to empower, to educate landowners, to know that their trees have not only monetary value, but it also has value for our environment that we all benefit from. Clean air, clean water, reducing carbon emissions. And that's a part of the education process.
When we think about the global impact of using byproducts and waste materials, what we're really talking about is completing a whole economic system. Yes, we have to harvest trees and manage forests to produce that, but then we plant trees and we regrow forests and we continue that cycle for future generations.
So my hope is that as my sons get older and mature, they will undertake the vision and the ideas that we have of harvesting, reseeding, and then that will carry on for future generations.
If landowners can make a living, pay their taxes, put their kids through school, whatever it is, if landowners can make a living growing trees, then they can choose to keep forests as forests.